This is Spies in the House, normal and hard. Before I start, I just want to mention a few things on this quest. First of all, this is one of the more difficult quests that, if we were on a different build, it might go on our list of quests to save for favor runs. But because this build it works really well, and because of this Meyer set, which gives us a 15 jump and the access to House Valarin vendor for another 20 jump, we're going to go ahead and run it. I also bought some jump potions and stuck them on my hotbar. They're on the left side, middle hotbar at the end. And so I bought 20 of those just in case we run out of our buffs in the middle of the quest. So although I would say give it a try on normal and hard, and it's probably going to take you a little bit longer the first time. But the jumping is not one of my strong suits, and I'm able to do it, so I'm sure you'll be able to do it as well. And you know, if you play another build, another life, this quest is going to get harder than it is this time. So I definitely encourage you to try it on normal and hard. And if you're struggling through normal and hard, then you might want to skip it on Reaper. But my guess is you'll feel comfortable with it by the time you finish normal and hard. You'll feel comfortable running it on Reaper. All right. Secondly, make sure you get the jump potions, just in case you're running out of these House Valarin uh, buffs. It'll give you enough jump to get through it. The hardest jump is kind of near the beginning. And so I'm going to go ahead and get the House P buffs. I'm going to go ahead and take them all. Give me everything. And then I'm going to pause the video and head over to the quest. Once you're in the quest, just check your skill and make sure your jump is at least 45. If you're 45, that'll be fine. If you're below 45, you'll want to use your skill boost before one of the jumps. And I'll show you which one that is.
Icy tendrils of biting cold swirl around stagnant sewer.
All right, because of the Mars set, I have underwater action, so I don't need to worry about the breathing. But as we get kind of out towards the end of this tunnel, we find our first trap. And then there are two trap boxes here. If you kind of go here, you're in between the traps, and then you can find both boxes. And then the last trap box in the water is right about here. And if I go up out of the water so you can kind of see where that is, it's roughly in the middle between these two things here, right below the water surface. All right, and there is a valve you could pull in here and another one, which I'll show you later, that if you have trouble with the jumps, give you sort of an airlift. But I actually find those to be harder than just the jump, a little more hit or miss. So with this build, we can do it with just the jump. All right, so here's the other trap, and then we're not going to use it, but I'm going to go ahead and just pull this, and this will help you, if
You
you're having
hear
trouble making the
churning
jumps.
water rumbling somewhere deep below you.
Sounds like there's another trap somewhere. I don't even know where that trap box is. Alright, we're going to take care of all those archers because they will keep pinging us even when we're up above. Alright. So now with these house Fjarlin jumps, or jump spell, our jump is really, really good. And as you can see, I still have some problems now and then. Alright, the first thing we need to do is go here. So we started there and then just went straight this way. And turn the green wheel twice until the red second to the right is lit. That's going to position us for one of those blowing things that's going to push us up to the top. This is kind of the hard jump. It should be no problem with our jump skill. We kind of go up here and then jump over to here. And if you're not able to do that, it's probably because you don't have a 45 jump. And then just position yourself in front here and it will kind of blow you up to here. Alright, so lots of archers. They don't do a lot of damage. We can either take them out with our swords or our bows. I'm just going to use my sword because I think it's quicker. Alright, and our hireling's helping us. Now, up on this level, there's kind of random blowing stuff, and you can see there's a trap there. We'll get to that later. There's random blowing stuff. Maybe that's only on higher difficulties, but basically, we want to make sure we don't go in front of something that's going to blow us off, because then we have to climb all the way back up. Alright, and we'll clear every enemy in the top. That's kind of needed to get the optional, although the optional is not that big of a deal for us. But to get the optional, you have to clear every enemy from the top. Usually I do that anyways just because I don't like the archery damage. You have to line yourself dead center of that blowing thing. Otherwise you might end up being blown all the way down to the bottom. Then you pull this valve. This valve unlocks the door, one of the doors that we need. I'll show you here which door it is in a second. So this door here that was here was unlocked, and then now this valve opens the next door, which is straight ahead.
You hear a
This
prisoner's voice
this is
calling
open
for help.
because we cleared all the enemies on top, and this is a
runs off across
pretty
the
nice
bridge
optional. I mean,
and
we don't need the
disappears
XP,
in
but
the pit.
people run this as a daily quest on epics to level up. So it's a good one to learn because it's probably about the fastest XP per minute of any quest at epic levels,
You hear someone
if you know it.
timidly asking for
Okay,
help.
this trap keeps this blowing thing and the grease from bothering us. So a couple of methods down here that harass us, and then another lever to open this. And this is the second of 4
That
people we need to let go.
walks off
Again,
into
it's
shadow,
such an easy optional, so
disappearing down the
that's
tunnel
why I wanted
the
to
way
show it to
came.
you. It's right on the way where we're going. Okay, another trap. Let's get that. And there's like a ambush is the wrong word, but some stuff's going to spawn. And a lot of times people, they just ignore this stuff and run past it on higher difficulties because we're not going to go too far before we go up. That fits. There's a random trap here. Usually you can find it with your spot, like I did right there. It's either in that first spot I was searching or this spot are the most common two, but there's at least one other spot it can be in, I think over here. Then we climb up. And if you really want to explore the dungeon, there's a chest over there you can get, jump over to. It's, again, this is very much, people refer to this as a Mario Brothers quest. And of course, the good jump skill
You hear
helps
a
make it
prisoner's
easier.
voice calling out.
And a feather fall is an absolute must for this quest. You have to have feather fall. Alright, this lever here unlocks a bunch of things, and then this valve will release our third prisoner of 4. Again, everything's right on the way. We're not having to go chase down these prisoners, and this is just a free chest. Good place to shrine right here. I'm not going to bother. I think I've got enough time on my shield clicky to get me through this. Go along the edges here. This electric will hurt even with evasion. I mean, you in theory should take a lot less damage because of evasion, but it's still going to hurt. It's, you know. Alright, so this is a tough area. There's some arcane skeletons and a lot of casters.
Followed by the clattering of obedient bones.
Our build is actually pretty good for this area, so you have good saves. Let's clear these guys. You can see we're on Reaper. This quest is a little more challenging, but we're doing good. So, all right, and we're past the worst of it. There's a couple more difficult jumping things, but we're past about the worst of it. Oh, the other thing is, because we did House J buffs, we really didn't need to give ourselves all our buffs. I just did it out of habit, because most of the buffs we have are redundant with House J buffs, and they're good for another 18 minutes. In fact, I'll probably, for the hard run, will renew these buffs, House J buffs, before going. Alright, I think you could, we could, looks like our hireling took care of them all. You can get those archers if they're bothering you. They're not too much of a problem. Alright.
You hear a woman's voice.
And this is the 4th prisoner.
Up above.
Kayla deftly finds
Cheers,
her way
Pete.
out of the sewer, pausing once to look back and wave her thanks.
And another chest. Alright, then you sort of jump over to the, whoops, see I just fell down there because I messed that up. Make sure you don't jump all the way down. You just go here. Looks like there's an archer still harassing me somewhere. Just jump onto here, and again, we have plenty of jumps. Oh, I did it again. We have plenty of jump skill, but I have to actually, I turned a little bit too soon. Alright, that guy's gone at least. So as you can see, this jumping Mario stuff's not my strong suit, but you know, it's a fairly reasonable learning curve. So jump onto this pipe and turn this valve. And then there's a trap here. And that, whoop, almost fell down. Our goal is to get up to, it's going to get blown up and get onto that wire trap. Now, when you get up there, you're going to have to move really fast. We have 20 electrical resist, so it should be fine for normal. I'd also really like to have an electrical absorb item, but I don't have it. So I'm just going to have to live with what I have. All right, and so that's not too unusual. Let's see if I can jump back up here. Yep. Takes sometimes a couple tries. You jump and then just sort of go in this direction. All right, now this, keep your hireling on hold here. You are going to want to run really fast. This is there. You could also try to get up here, although I've not had too much luck doing it. Let's see. See if we can get up right here. Nope. So I've always just gone really fast, and so make sure you got your heroes and potion renewed. You've got your electric buff on, and then just do it really fast, and then call your hireling over. On Reaper, there's going to be a air elemental here, which is kind of annoying. You may have to get these guys with a bow because they a lot of times they go in the middle over that electric pit, and you can't reach them with a sword. So it takes a little while to get them on a lead, but a lot of times they'll come to you, like this guy here. Then you can finish him with your sword. Alright, so pull this. And you can see this one here. You kind of have to kind of jump to avoid that air thing. Jump and stand on the right side of the valve, and then pull it. And then just sort of jump as you go over these other spots. Don't know what Harling's doing there, but let me heal him up. You kind of just try to time your jumps there. And then this thing, because we turned the valves, will push us up here, and we turn the valve so there's no trap. This is another hairy one here. Put your hireling on stand his ground, and you want to go really fast onto here. And then go up here and fight these mephits. Use a bow if you have to. Call the hireling up. And you go up this ladder.
The sunrise at the end of the tunnel shows you have reached the end of your journey. You have found the far end of the Blood Road.
So it wasn't too bad, 16 minutes. I'd say even if it takes you a little longer, learn the quest, do it. All right. And I may have been accidentally muted for the last part of that, so I'm going to do some of that explanation again in the next one. All right, I'm going to take it again. And I'm just going to pause because I have 10 minutes left on my House J buffs. I probably don't need them, but for this quest, I'm going to go ahead and run back and get them before I do hard. All right, I renewed my House Fjarlin buffs. And bring my higher, and I'm just going to jump down, and I'll buff down at the kind of as I'm falling down. Don't need to resist because the, let me make sure I'm actually in hard. Yep. Because the resist I got from House J. I don't think Heroism was from House J though. Or I keep saying House J, it's House P. They have the same buffs in House Fjarlin as and House Jurasco, which is why I confused them. But I don't think that they have the mega get all the buffs in House Jurasco, although I haven't
Icy tendrils of
checked.
biting cold swirl around you.
So for this next trap box, come out of the water, go right between these two things, sort of right dead center, and then you could search. And you actually don't even need to go underwater for this one. You can just disable it from up there. And there's one right here. And again, you just turn it twice, and you'll know you're in the correct position because the second from the right should be red and the rest of them are green. And this is the tricky jump, but of course it's all just based on your jump skill. We want to jump up to this, I don't know, this walkway above. And then we want to land ourselves perfectly in the middle of this jet stream. And again, I'm just going to opt for melee here. Alright, the first thing I always look is see if there's a, I don't know if that's on Elite or if that's on Epic, or both, but normally there's like some kind of one of those things that's glowing, and you have to kind of avoid that or it'll knock you off. Looks like they don't have that on normal or hard. Alright, so we want to position ourselves kind of right in the center here. And and turn the valve. And if we do that, it will push us up against this. If we get too far off, it'll push us over to the side, blow us past this room over the side and down to the bottom. And turn this valve. And then we're done with this section. We turn this valve to open the next door, which is straight ahead. And then we, because it's easy, just get this option.
Calling for help. Plorax runs off across the bridge and disappears in the pit.
Trap here. And there's another trap, but first we're going to get this.
Asking for help.
These methods that will be harassing us otherwise. Rescue our second prisoner.
Vazimus stalks off into the shadows, disappearing down the tunnel the way you came.
And then we get this trap. My spot's working here, so yep, the trap is here. Could be on the other side, the other corner there, but it's one of the random locations it could be in. The trap's always there. The only thing that's random is the location of the trap box.
You hear a prisoner's voice calling out to you. Aaron runs down the tunnel, back to the ladder, and disappears from sight.
Okay, I'm just going to renew my shield buff. Yeah, I'm going to put my Harling, just stand my Harling in place so it doesn't die to this trap. Which would be a little worse on hard than it was on normal. But we're going to just kind of go around the edges here and avoid the damage. We could evade some of the damage, but we probably would still take some of the right way through it. And I'm ignoring the archers, unless they come right to me.
Followed by the clattering of obedient bones.
So this guy could also, the boss here, can also neg level us. So if that happens, just quickly restore, lay on hands, and just keep fighting. Don't worry about it too much. These guys.
You hear a metal portcullis slide open in the distance.
you have to get that valve.
You hear a woman's voice asking for help up above.
Kaylan deftly climbs her way out of the sewer, pausing once to look back and wave her thanks.
We're going to aim for up there, and if you happen to get up on top of these pipes there that are there, right there, if you see my little the white circle on there, then you could avoid the electric thing altogether. But I've not had any luck doing that. But there's a guildie that taught me that recently. He's been doing that, and that's never worked for me. Like up there. So see, I'm not able to get up there.
Appear in the pit. They won't let you pass without a fight.
So now go fast. You can see I'm making most of my saves. On elite, it shouldn't kill us on elite either with evasion. But ideally, what you want to do is get up on here. Ideally, what you want to do is get up on here, but I'm just not able to do it. Alright, so let's get these elementals. And we'll have one other complication, which will be that on elite, we'll have an arrow elemental to deal with here that's knocking us down around. So we'll try to kill him before we jump up here. Alright, so we'll get this one. And we got that same pattern again, so you just kind of go to the right, pull it from here. And sometimes I get blown here no matter what I do, but I try to sort of time it. And then jump up on here. And again, you want to be really super fast here. And we're going to go up here and call our hireling. And I'm not going to bother chasing down methods that are over there. I forget if the water elementals are just on Elite or Reaper here, or if they're also on... I think that there are water elementals on when we get to Reaper mode. In an Epic, they're there on all difficulties. Alright, so this part I think was on mute last time. Apologies for that. But when you get to here, you see this, but you can't actually find a trap. So I'm just looking just to show you you're not going to find one, you're going to see the trap itself. Then you just pull one side, and you're going to get the electric damage there, or it's going to close. So that time it didn't, we got the electric damage. It's not much, don't worry about it. And then just once it's closed, walk over it. If you walk over it before it's closed, you'll fall down, so don't want to do that. You just have these two enemies here. No chest on Heroic. Alright, and then finishing the quest, you just run to the end here.
The sunlight at the end of the tunnel shows you have reached the end of your journey. You have found the far end of the Blood Road.
And so it may take you longer to do it because of some of the jumping and some of the weird mechanics. The main thing is avoid staying in that electric floor for too long. and make sure you have your heroes and potion when you do that for the extra saves. Let's see, thaumaturgic, but it's a quarterstaff, and I think people seem to prefer the scepters, which could also be thaumaturgic. There's a nice electric absorb. That would be nice for this quest, actually. So I'm just going to just randomly grab one here. I'm going to grab this death block because I don't know if we may at some point need a helm death block. And that is it. That is Spies in the House on normal and hard.